Okay, as a follow-on to the first two videos, and now that you understand the tragedy of the commons, we can talk about the world's global fisheries situation. Obviously, with lots and lots of species, lots of different countries and borders and management systems, not every stock is going to be fished at the same level. Some of them will be well overfished, and some of them will be fished at quite a sustainable level, but we can look for trends. And so if we start looking at the history of fishing, so for the first nearly 200,000 years that it's postulated that modern Homo sapiens have been in existence, we fished very close shore with materials that we could make out of natural substances like trees or spears, nets that we could weave out of flax and the like. And we're really only able to exploit the shallow seas very close to land. We had very few people, so we didn't need to take as much in order to feed ourselves. And so this, of course, led to very few environmental impacts. Any gear that was lost would, of course, just biodegrade down and not really cause an impact to the fishery. And there were populations that could breed and replenish coastal areas that were sort of untouchable because we couldn't. So the last 125 years, though, we've gone from villages like so to villages like this. So this is a picture of a modern city, and obviously to feed this many people, then we're going to need to take a lot more fish than fisheries can take. So we've had technology improvements too. This would have been a typical fishing boat 125 years ago, and we wind up with ships like this. Okay, so look at the size of that thing. That's probably 120 meters. It'll be definitely over 100 meters, and that fishes all year round and can take some massive amounts of fish out of the ocean at one time. So global industrialization has allowed steam-powered fishing boats, and once they were developed, that allowed the development of trawls to be pulled along the bottom, because you can pull a bigger net and at a faster speed than with a sail. And then diesel fishing vessels were even more efficient, and the human population growth obviously meant that there was more of a demand for fish protein. Technologies allowed greater fishing power. Okay, so here we go. So if we look at the birth of so for 2.5 million years, we're talking about the population of Homo erectus and then Homo sapiens. Well, so we're only here at the agricultural revolution, when people went from hunter-gatherer societies to becoming more of a farming communities, more permanent, stable communities. The agricultural revolution allowed, and then even here in the Dark Ages, the Black Death had wiped out a third of the population of Europe. So a small drop, and then the Industrial Revolution came along, and here's so an incredible growth of people. All right, so right after World War II, there were lots and lots of boats that were used for transporting all the materials to sustain the war effort that had been built, and hungry populations from devastated countries that had been bombed. Vessels for people around the world. And you can say that the growing, this is when industrialization really started to take off. And right here we have a bit of a drop in an inch of that fishery as it was overfished here, and then so a bit of a dip, and then here's the 3 inch of fishery. Based on a couple of factors which we'll get into a little bit more, but that's the biggest fishery in the world, really, by weight. So you can see that the catch kept growing, and it kept up with the population growth. The amount caught per person in kilograms per year has kept going up. But then around 1990, it started dipping off, and the catch has gone up. The catch per person has gone down. So population is starting to overgrow the ability to catch more fish, okay, which is some pretty strong implications for the near. Yeah. Well, one thing that I need to mention, by only going by species to species, the easiest fish to catch were, of course, the big fish, and that's what people ate: cod and large tuna and the like. But now we're down to catching jack mackerel and kahawai and everything else. So easy fish that were close to shore pretty quickly and fully exploited those or even overfished them. And so then we started going to further populations further out to sea. And right now, even the Antarctic is pretty well exploited, and there really are no refuges anymore of blue crab catch peaked up in the 2000s and started down. Okay, plaice. This is a giant fishery, very big fishery in the Bering Sea. Started a lot of effort put in 1970. There are some blue tuna. Okay, down, and this is tailed off a little bit here. Okay, so you can see that there were big populations. Effort hasn't dropped off much, but the going way down. Here's tuna as a whole with different species stacked, and you can see that this is Pacific, the state of the Pacific tuna populations and the fishery are in decline, okay, and not getting much better. Bering Sea, another type of fish besides the plaice. Okay, back down. So sharks. All right, these have been caught more and more and more in long line catches. The effort hasn't gone down, but down goes the catch from the International Convention for Exploration of the Sea, ICES, which is the oldest international organization concerned with. All right, so here we go in the Mediterranean. No stock assessment done for 80% of commercially exploited stocks. So we don't even know what we're catching them, but we have no idea what level those stocks are. Around 60% of commercially important stocks are being fished outside of safe biological limits. Large sharks at roughly 0.5% of estimated numbers in 1950. That means that for every 200 sharks there were in the Mediterranean in 1950, at which point there was a fishery, there was only one large shark now. Okay, so that takes their role in the ecology down to a minuscule part of what it used to be. Bluefin stocks considered to be collapsing. Most all of the big fish have really disappeared, and anybody that has been scuba diving or snorkeling in the Mediterranean knows you only see little tiny fish. And the catch per unit efforts have fallen dramatically. We'll talk about catch per unit effort a little bit about, over the course, about what we might be able to do about it as fisheries managers.